Well, it seems like Microsoft never learns. Even after the disaster that was games for Windows Lives, they're back at it again with their exclusive Xbox games coming to Windows Store only. Don't get me wrong, it's not as bad as games for Windows Lives. You don't have to pay each month just to access the online features, and it's not as intrusive a DRM. But you're still getting horrible ports with VSync locked in, SLI and Crossfire that just don't work, and you have no choice but to use a borderless window, and the files are all locked so you can't mod it easily, nor can you modify things like FOV or anything else you'd want to modify in the INI files. Basically, whenever you have to choose between Windows Store or any other store there is, especially Steam, you'll always get a worse product by choosing the Windows Store. I do get that they need to push Windows 10, but this is such a terrible idea. No one's gonna pay the same price for a worse product. So instead, they're just gonna lure you in with products you just can't get anywhere, like the one that was released recently, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and later on Quantum Break. But even on that, they managed to screw up. Gears of War has terrible performance, especially on AMD. You need a beast of a machine just to get 30 frames per second, and even then, that's not gonna help with the stuttering. I do get that the Xbox One isn't doing well, and that they really should take advantage of the other platform they are dominant in with Windows. But it's not gonna happen as long as they do it against the best interest of their customers, by barring all their games behind their store and DX12. They tried to do it with games for Windows Lives, and it backfired heavily on them. They tried to do it with Windows 8 and Windows 8 exclusives with DX11, and that failed too, and now they're doing it once more. It's like they never learn, and they're gonna fail again. Even if it was working well, I don't see how Gears of War Ultimate Edition could ever get people to upgrade to Windows 10. At the end of the day, it's a 10-year-old game of a genre that has been exhausted completely. Even on Xbox One with its own franchise. Those who wanted to play it have played it by now, and those that didn't probably still aren't interested in it. I played the first two back in the day, and it was okay. It wasn't great, but at the time, third-person cover shooters were a rare thing. But now they're just the status quo, and going back to how they were 10 years ago just isn't interesting at all to me, at least. And no matter how much money they throw at advertising, I just can't get excited for Quantum Break. It looks like every other game we've had in the last 5 years. I could be wrong, of course, but I have a feeling that it's gonna join the ranks of Far Cry Primal and the upcoming The Division and be yet another disappointing game this year. You need system sellers to get people to upgrade their OS and also to buy on a platform that's clearly inferior to all the others they have available to them. And they just haven't announced one yet. Every other game has issues with Windows 10, so it's a tough sell already. And I'm not saying that because I don't want Xbox games on PC. I really want some of them. I'd be willing to pay full price for Lost Odyssey and any of the other Mistwalker games that have never been on PC or anywhere else. Same with the Forza games. And I know there's tons of people that have been clamoring to get all the Halos on PC for a very long time. But to get there, they really need to get in their head that the customer comes first. Otherwise, the customer just won't come at all. I'd like to believe this is the time they will see the light. But it's happened already twice, and look at what happened as a result. To this day, there's still some games that need workarounds, game for Windows Lives, like Resident Evil 5, that requires an unofficial patch to even start. Thankfully, the games that were only on Windows 8 and on their Windows stores can now be played on other versions of Windows and be bought on other platforms. But if they had succeeded in getting most people to move to Windows 8, that would never have happened. It's so easy to see that they just need to be a bit more consumer friendly and stop trying to put a noose around the head of PC gamers for them to come and buy their products. Phil Spencer did say at the Xbox Spring Showcase that the performance issues and missing options will be made available with a bit of time, and that it's just growing pains that we're going through. But I gotta admit, I'm a bit cynical about it all. Xbox and Microsoft don't have a stellar record when it comes to these things. I want more competition on the PC market, especially with Steam being so complacent. And it's great that GOG is slowly rising, but a third competitor wouldn't hurt. Just not at any cost. Anyway, thanks for listening to my ramblings, and whether you agree or disagree, feel free to use the comment section down below. I plan to make more of these as issues come up, so if you like what you heard, feel free to come back every now and then to see if there's more, or simply subscribe for these kinds of videos and my weekly reviews. I'm Critic/Gamer, hoping to see you next time.